Hi, we're Chris and Teresa, and we would love to guide you on your fiber arts journey. We own a successful fiber processing mill and online needle felting business, experienced at raising all fiber animals, and have renovated a 100-year-old school into a fiber arts retreat center.
Processing, needle felting, yarn, roving, fiber animals, and sustainable agriculture are all topics discussed here. Think of this as your one-stop shop for advice, information, tips, and getting your questions answered on all things from farm to needle. So pull up a seat, make sure you're cozy, and get ready to be inspired while you learn. This is EweTube.
Welcome to EweTube 160. We are out in the sheep pasture on my farm. We did end up bringing all of the sheep home here. We didn't give you an update on the sheep last time, and so we figured we better do an update. I think the last time I had left you with, I thought maybe it was blue-green algae. And if you didn't watch a few episodes ago, we had a tragedy with the sheep where I had come out and there was 5 dead sheep and they were dead by the water, and so we assumed maybe it could be the water, and so we blocked them off from the water. We sent in samples of the water, and then we took in some of the sheep that had died, and they were too decomposed for them to figure anything out, and the water sample was negative for blue-green algae. And we had since, while we were waiting for that information, we had moved all of the sheep to a different part of that pasture and blocked them away from that. So, and we went 9 days, and we thought we were in the clear, everything was good, and then another one died. And then shortly after that, another one, and we brought that one in because that one we had found when it was just died. And so they were able to take a look at that, and then plus I got some fecal samples to bring into the vet and see what was going on, because we had wormed them right after we had found the dead ones, thinking it could be a problem with worms, but we weren't sure. We were just taking precautions. And then we moved them so they would be off any worms that were in that pasture they were in. And then we went 9 days, but then we had 2 died, and so they found barber pole worms in both the samples that I brought in and in the dead sheep. And when I told them that we had recently, what we had used to deworm them, it was 2 different things. The first when we brought them out to the pasture, and then right before we had moved them to this other pasture. And we came to the conclusion that their worms were resistant to the dewormer. And so then the vet and us have been researching and trying to figure out what we can possibly do when the worms are resistant to the dewormer. And on researching it, we found that this is becoming to be an issue in the United States. It's been an issue in New Zealand and Australia for a while, and the solution is deworming with all 3 dewormers at the same time. And so we were trying to find the 3rd dewormer, which is prohibit, and we couldn't find it anywhere. The vet couldn't find it anywhere. And so we've been struggling, trying to figure out what to do, and we have contacted other vets to see, what they think, and then we had conflicting things that we should do, and then we were doing our own research, so it's been kind of a circus. Meanwhile, we had sheep dying, at least one a day. Yeah. And so it's been very, very frustrating. But we did finally find prohibit, and it's on the way, I think. However, they've made the shipping label but haven't shipped it, so I don't know what that means. So right now we did find, Chris called one day to a local vet, Castleton Vet, and they had 1 packet of the prohibit. And so I drove over there and got that 1 packet. And so we've had enough to treat anybody that looks sickly. So Jeff and I have been in the evenings just sitting in there looking at who might look sick, because we don't have enough to do the whole flock, and we don't want to waste it on healthy sheep. And then there's also a method of seeing if they have these barber pole worms, because the barber pole worms are just sucking blood, and so they become anemic and they're weak. And you can tell by looking inside their eyelids to see if they're a really pale pink or a nice bright pink. If they're a nice bright pink, you don't need to worm them. And if they are a pale pink or almost white, then you need to. So, and we've been, experimenting with that, grabbing sheep here and there just to see who's healthy, who's sick. A lot of the ones that have died didn't look sick. Very healthy, big sheep. And so that was the most confusing part. When they have barber pole worms, they get what is called bottle jaw, which is, it just swells up underneath their jaw. So you can tell if they have that and it's really bad just by looking at them. So those we know to catch and give the dewormer to. And then I've learned so much. We have been doing some rotational grazing. We are still in the process of fencing it all off, and that has taken some time. We had rotated them, from pasture to pasture over the summer, but not the way we really want to do it, which is like every day or every 2 days, rotating them. So then they can't get infected with the worms. The worms are in the soil, in the grass, and they just, after you deworm them, they eat them again and get worms again. So if you rotate them, that will help. And so we have bunches of plans after we finally get rid of these worms. And so we're going to be doing fecal samples all the time. We have a microscope. We're going to be looking at them and making sure we get rid of these worms, because it seems to be a huge issue in the United States and in other countries. In New Zealand and Australia, they have developed more different, newer dewormers that aren't available in the US yet. And New Zealand and Australia have been deworming with the 3 dewormers at the same time for a while, because they have way more sheep than we do in the United States, and they've been dealing with this for a while.
And they don't have any winters.
Yeah.
On top of it, yeah.
We have a period of time where we don't have to worry about them getting reinfected, getting the worms again, because the ground is frozen. So, So it's been an ongoing circus.
Yeah.
Brought them all home, and
not good.
They all started just leaping over the fence, and so now they're out in the pasture again. And then we made a dry lot in one of our smaller pens, and a dry lot is, we just worked it up, so it's just dirt, and we're feeding them hay, because they're just getting reinfected if they're eating the grass and they're eating from the ground. They're just getting the worms again. So they didn't really appreciate that, and they just found a place, and they all leaped out.
And they look so happy.
And they're happy, but we're putting them back in. Yeah. As soon as we're done with this video, Jeff and I are going to get after that.
Yes. Oof. Yeah. It's been a horrible struggle. And just bringing them all home, how many trips was that? 10?
So many. It took us all afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you 300 plus sheep, you only get so much in a trailer. Oof.
Yeah. And we had 2 trailers going, Jeff and I, but one of them's smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just got back from Minneapolis. We went to Minneapolis. The sole purpose was to check out this printer display room at Marco. Marco is who we lease our big printer from, because all of Teresa's instructions are printed on site. So everything is done like right here, and our lease is up. So they showed us some different options.
Some higher quality, some different things that we can do. So that was kind of fun. And they also treated us to a Twins game in Minneapolis, and then a segway tour of downtown Minneapolis.
Amazing. That was truly amazing. Yeah.
And we wanted to bring our husbands. My husband couldn't come, and Chris's husband couldn't come.
So that was kind of a bad deal.
We brought my boys, Tucker and Casey, to the game, and
they enjoyed the game.
Yes, they did.
And the segway tour.
Yeah. So we just got back from that, and so that's why we need to get busy with this sheep
We've been gone for
project.
Yes. Yeah, but we do have some questions from last week that we want to address because there's some good questions there. Okay, so we had a question on the top performers of your kits.
And how many we sell. I don't have that on, I could have got that information, but we got back from Minneapolis and we're looking through the questions now. So what we find on the phone here is, so this year so far we've had 3.7 thousand orders on the website. That's just the website, that's not Etsy. And the top performers for this year are the Needle Felting Academy, which is my online needle felting academy, Snowman Needle Felting Kit, and then white wool. We sell a lot of white wool. And
because it's exceptional.
The black sheep and the white sheep are next in line.
Now the pumpkins are going strong.
Yeah, the pumpkins are right now, and that happens every year.
Because they're
the
so
pumpkins.
cute.
Yeah, they're a nice, easy fall project. And people right now are ready to get into some craft.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it's fall.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other questions we had. Okay, the parking one. You want to?
Oh, so I don't remember the exact question, but somebody wanted to know why you can't park in front of the school along the sidewalks, and that's what people have done since we opened way back when. And so you have to, it's a drop-off zone in front of the school. All right, if you drive around the flagpole, just to drop off. And if people are parked along the side, you can't fit to do that if they're parked up too close to the flagpole, and we don't really have a spot where it can end and start. So, and when you drive up to the school, it is so beautiful when there's no cars clogging up in front of it, is what I think as well. And if you park along the sidewalks and you back up, that is when we've had our lights that light up the flag
4 times.
broken off.
4 times. And it's expensive to get the coupling and just, not good. So.
Several reasons, I guess.
Yes. Okay, and then another question. This is a goodie. After listening to the questions, I'm wondering if there anything that we would have done differently with our renovation.
Right. So last week we asked Jimmy, who was our site superintendent from Roars, and we asked him a bunch of questions, so that's where this comes from. And I mean, I think we both agree that right away, if we'd have just hired Roars right away, instead of, there was several different things that we tried.
Yeah, we didn't want to spend the money.
Right, and we didn't think that we needed such a huge construction company.
Yeah.
But it turns out we did.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that. And then they could have picked out engineers and architects that they're used to working with, and I think everything would have went more smoothly. I mean, a lot less headaches. Because they weren't used to working with some of them, and we would have gone with their recommendations, and it would have been
just let them fly.
So much easier. I mean, that's just the major one that we could think of. I'm sure there are other things we would do differently, but
little things here and there.
A lot of things. Yeah. But that was the main major one we could think of.
Yeah. Okay. And how many sheep do you have right now?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Because
plus, or
they've been dying left and right, and we haven't run them all through and counted them. So we're not even sure how many we have lost, and we're thinking it's like 15.
Ouch. And good, healthy ewes on top of it.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Okay, now you have been working with genetics. I just marvel at how you have perfected the genetics of your herd. And the question was, it seems like I heard some time ago that you were experimenting with crossing your breeds to get the perfect felting fiber. And you've done that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're still working on the perfect. Because I was even like laying in bed this morning thinking, we really like Cormo for wet felting. So like making the cushions the covers. It wet felt so smooth. And then
And soft.
I don't like just straight cornmeal for felting, needle felting, because it's so fine and it's just smushy.
It's like using merino.
So the combination Romney cornmeal, and we need to do a little more experimenting on that to see exactly what we like about it. If it's, and all the fleeces are different because of course they're going to have more traits of one over the other. But yeah, it's still a work in progress because we have BFL in there, and we also like CVM for wet felting, and I love CVM for needle felting, and so that's in there now.
And CVM, when you spin it, out of all the fibers, I think it blooms the most. Like it'll look like it's a fingering, and it'll bloom into a worsted. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and there was the CVM are the spotted, really cute ones.
So cute.
Not that Romneys. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Romneys are adorable, and then we have BFL in there, and I like BFL crossed with Romney on the growth and conformation of the animal side, because they make amazing looking sheep for the sale barn and things, and they have been excellent mothers. Like two of my most excellent mothers right now are Chevy and Canasta, and they are BFL crossed Romney.
Are they?
Yeah.
So do the BFL alone make good mothers?
They didn't. Not the ones we had. They were okay. We had one that was a very good mother. She had triplets every year. But then we had two other ones that was not impressed. But it just could have been their, genetics. But the cross, it seems to be amazing. And Canasta actually has Wensleydale in her too. So she's a triple cross. And Chevy is over here worrying me right now because she's laying down. She's my favorite ewe. She's laying down.
Her ears.
And the vet did say that there is an option of giving them transfusions. She said it's not very cost effective, but I told Jeff if Chevy gets sick, she might have to have a transfusion. So she's laying over here. We're gonna have to look in her eyelids tonight and double check.
Caught her yet?
No, she runs away, but she's very fast. She runs like a Chevy. She jumps over fences too, but she's an excellent mother.
Oh, so cool. Okay, and then this is on the milling end. On the average, how many pounds of fiber do you get washed in your mill a week? And we probably do 30 to 50 pounds a day, at least, washed. How many sheets of felt get made in a week? Well, we have a goal of doing 20 sheets of felt that's just to have enough felt for the cushions that we need to. We need to get at least 40 sewed every week of the medium-sized cushion. And then besides that, then we have to also do for the insoles and the coasters and the other products that we do with the felt.
And the other new ideas.
And the other new ideas. So, yes. So probably we're gonna. The goal is going to be 30 to 50 sheets. And now that I know, yesterday? No, we left yesterday. Monday, they had both felting machines going, and oh my goodness, they filled those dry racks pretty quickly. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Okay, how many fans keep running 24/7 to dry the fiber that's been washed? The fans never go off. They're on, and it's amazing what workhorses these fans are. We have at least 12 fans in the mill running at all times. Yep. How many machines get used in the process of making yarn? And it's a 9-step process, and there are 7 machines that we use in the 9-step process. I count washing and whatnot in there too. So, yeah. Approximately how many days to make yarn from start to finish? This is a question that I get asked a lot, because I can do it in 2 days if I'm just focused on those batches and it's not a massive batch, if it's a, probably 8-pound batch, 5 to 8 pound batch, I can wash it one day, put it in front of the fans. This is in the morning, and by 4 o'clock, it's dry and I can pick it and get it ready for carting the next morning, and then I can run it through the rest of the process and skein it by the end of the day. Of course, then I would wash those skeins to get the skeins to bloom and to be the finished yarn. So counting that, it would be 2.5 days. But yeah. But generally, if we do customer fiber, it takes generally about a week to get a batch done, because we've got so many other batches going on at the same time. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I didn't say, I just said I didn't know how many sheep we have.
Oh, yeah,
but
right.
we should have around 300.
So we'll
Is
see
that
where
counting
your rams?
Yeah. We have 9 rams right now.
Now, so then the idea then is when you get this shipment in, you're going to run them all through?
Yes. So they'll all get the 3 dewormers. Oh, and then we've been giving them shots of iron, because they're anemic if they have the barber pole worms. Which makes them weak and just.
Is that the only way to give them iron, is through a shot?
You can give them stuff in their water.
Oh, you
too.
can. Okay.
But we just want to make sure they're getting it right now, especially the sick ones.
Right, and then is it bad if the sheep get too much iron? If you would put it in the water, and the ones that are fine?
Probably. Huh. Yeah. They just recommended, 2 vets and our reading has recommended a shot.
It's just amazing that you have Jeff that's so good at that.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of research.
Pretty cool. I think we've
answered
got them all now. Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. It's a little shortened version today, but man, it's beautiful out.
It is. Yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah.
Today's beautiful.
Yeah.
But now we have to go.
It's time.
Time to
We're out.
fix some fence. So they can't jump out again and
get them in. Well, Chevy's up now.
I see that. I'm glad.
All right. We'll see you all. And on that note, God bless you. And
that's all, folks. Like this video, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.